Technical issues. I have recorded this segment about 5 or 6 times now, and I keep running into problems, but we've got it now. So, here I am again. I am Sawmill Turtle. As I've said like 5 or 6 times now, but you'd never know that unless I pointed it out to you, that I have updated our randomizer so that there are more options available, so I don't have to just get to the end of the week and there's only one movie left out of the 7 that I put in there, and then I'm not surprised because there's only one left. Like, there's always going to be extras, so I never really know which one we're going to talk about. So I can just speak off my cuff, no matter what it is. Let's pull up our randomizer and see what happens. All right, we got, yeah, I had added Fox and the Hound. I added Little Mermaid. There's a few of them in there. And the Jungle Book too. So let's see what we get. Oh, the Aristocats. Oh, this is going to be grand. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the Aristocats today. That's not one that I really expected. But that's okay. That's the point, isn't it? The Aristocats is an original film because it is a deeply flawed but enjoyable film. I have issues with it, big issues with it. For one thing, in the main plot point of the film is that the butler hears B. Arthur. she does look like B. Arthur. Here's B. Arthur making her will, among other things. Oh my. Oh my. Oh no. Turn that off. Turn it off. He hears B. Arthur making her will. And he hears her say that she's leaving all the money to the cats. Everything. The chateaus, the money, the bonds, the stocks, everything going to the cats. And he gets like super mad about it, right? And Mr. Magoo over here, he's surprised too. Like, he's like, "You're leaving all your money to the cats?" I mean, he doesn't argue because he's the attorney, right? So Edgar, the butler, decides, "No, fuck that." He's not thinking clearly here. After Dorothy here is dead, it's okay for him to spend the money. Like, even though it's going to the cats, like, she specifies that he's to be the cat's caretaker. Like, if he goes and he buys something with the money that was left for the cats, like, nobody's going to stop him and say, hey, that doesn't look like that's being bought for cats. Like, that doesn't look like a cat object. Like, what are you doing buying that? That ain't for the cats. No, nobody's going to say shit to him. Like, it's essentially his money because, it's for taking care of them and for obviously supporting him while he's taking care of them. So there's really no difference between him saying, this is all going to Edgar and this is going to my cats whom Edgar will be taking care of. And the latter is just to make sure that, the cats are taken care of and that Edgar doesn't just take the money and, dump them in an animal shelter or somewhere and just bounce out, to Europe or something, So he doesn't definitely, he gets so mad over something so stupid. Then this is the part that gets me. When he decides to get rid of the cats, he's making what he calls creme de la Edgar, where he puts sleeping medicine in milk. Problem is that if you look at the scene, he puts so much sleeping medicine in the milk, those cats should be dead. Like, those cats are not asleep. Those cats are dead. Like, there is no more movie beyond this point. Like, as soon as I drank that milk, those cats were toast. Like B. Arthur come down the stairs like, "Mom, my cats are dead." Well, I don't know what happened. I didn't poison them. And so like the logic here that you're gonna like put out like a small amount of sleeping medicine, look at it, shrug your shoulders, and just upend the bottle into it. You killed those cats. Okay, so right now we have a logical fallacy. This doesn't make sense to me, but we're gonna let that go because it's a cartoon, right? Like the cat should be dead, but apparently these cats ain't no killing these cats. Maybe Edgar had a reason to be worried because these cats will never die. Like if you give them that much sleeping medicine, like these cats are immortal. These are cat gods. Like these cats cannot be destroyed. You will be waiting on them forever. Like so, maybe we had a little point there. I don't know. But he takes him and he dumps him in the French countryside, and he's worried about them finding his stuff out there. Okay, it's like a hat and an umbrella. Okay, I guess that's something to be worried about. Like if maybe they dusted for fingerprints in like early 20th century France. I don't know. But they go on this journey and then they meet Baloo the cat. And through this whole thing, one thing I've noticed, it really kind of irks me, is that for a movie that takes place in France, there's almost no French people in it. Almost no one in this movie is French. Like Madame, the B. Arthur lookalike, the tall bird, speaks with a British accent. So does her lawyer. So does Edgar. Duchess, who's voiced by Eva Gabor, what was she? She was like Austrian, right? Okay, so you have an Austrian cat and her 3 kittens. I think either one or two of them speaks with a British accent, and the other one speaks with an American accent. Everybody else in this movie speaks with various they're like the only people that I ever heard speak like they were from France is the truck driver, who threw them off the truck when he saw they were there and called O'Malley like a brainless lunatic. He was French. The guy who was trying to cook the Uncle Goose. What was this? Uncle Waldo. Yeah, Uncle Waldo was in the French restaurant, and the French chef who throws him out because Uncle Waldo is a drunk, he was French. And there was I think one other person, I can't even remember, that nobody important was French. Even the guys who came at the end of the film and picked up like the chest that had Edgar's remains in it. And it was his remains, because by the time he's locked in a chest and they put it on a truck and they ship it all the way to Timbuktu. So it's going probably by steamship. And, there's no overnight FedEx air mail in this time period. So you're probably being shipped by steamer. Locked in a chest, as long as it takes for that chest to go from Paris to Timbuktu. Weeks. No food, no water, probably limited or no air, cramped up in there, can't move. You're dead. When you get to Timbuktu and somebody eventually notices this package that nobody's waiting on, just sitting at the depot, and it's been there a minute, and eventually, maybe days or a week or so later, somebody's finally like, what's the deal with this? And they cut the lock open, and oh my God, the smell from Edgar's rotting, decaying corpse. Because he's dead by now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he died somewhere along the trip. If being kicked by the horse into the chest didn't kill him. And so now they're tracing that chest back to its point of origin, which leads them right back to Madame. Now, Madame, nobody's going to believe, oh, yeah, well, my cats did it. And my cats and my horse locked my butler in my chest and shipped his body to Timbuktu. Nobody. Your lawyer couldn't get you off on that defense. Granted, your lawyer is Mr. Magoo. But, he seems competent enough. But he's not going to be able to get you off on that. They find your dead butler in Timbuktu. They trace it back to you. The French are coming for you. You're going to the guillotine, lady. Don't care. It doesn't matter if you're like 1,000 years old or like a former star of the opera or, a former main cast member of the Golden Girls or not. You're dead. Yeah, your cat just killed you. Well done. So we have these main points here. One, the cat should have been dead at the beginning of the film. Two, at some point shortly after the end of the film, like Madame is convicted of being a murderer, so she's dead. And number three, there's nobody French in the entire goddamn film. Nobody. Not Uncle Waldo. Well, he was British anyway. Cats weren't French. Madame wasn't French. Edgar wasn't French. The horse wasn't French. In fact, the horse was voiced by the chick who played, what the hell was her name on Beverly Hillbillies? Like the banker's assistant. Like that tall, like skinny woman. Like looked like, oh, wow. That woman voiced the horse. And she's American. So you have the American horse, the American mouse that sounds like Winnie the Pooh, American and British and Austrian cats. Where are the French in France? Where are they? I really would love to know. This is one of those deeply flawed, like post death of Walt Disney films, like post death of Disney, before the really, really dark period. Like this is post Golden Age. Like it's not quite like the trash age, like where you get into like really like weird and sometimes stupid films. But it is kind of like, the fuck is going on in this movie? And one of the biggest issues that I had with the whole film was fucking Marie. Like Marie, Lord have mercy. If you didn't know, Marie, I'll put her picture up here on the screen in post-production. Marie was the little white cat. The only female of the group other than her mom. The British one. Okay. She acted like she was better than her brothers, was constantly bossing her brothers around, acted like she knew everything. But in a period of less than 10 minutes, in the same sequence of events, O'Malley had to save her ass twice because twice she fell. First, I can't remember if she fell off the milk truck first or if she fell off the bridge first. No, she fell off the milk truck first, and then O'Malley had to save her. And then after they got thrown off the truck, they were walking along the bridge, and she fell off of that. And O'Malley had to jump into the river to save her, which is where they met the geese and Uncle Waldo. Right. Okay, so twice in that sequence, first the milk truck, then the bridge, she fell. Twice. And you act like you're better than everyone else here. And you are the clumsiest. Just inept and helpless of all of them. At least the others kind of recognize. And always telling her brothers to be quiet. And there was a sequence where O'Malley and their mom are on the roof talking and they're eavesdropping. And she seems like she's free to say whatever she wants. Oh, goody, mother's going to work for Mr. O'Malley. But anytime that her brothers speak up, shh, bitch, the fuck? You were just talking. You're going to shush me? What the fuck? Why don't you go jump off another bridge, okay? The next time you fall off the milk truck, make sure to land in front of it, yeah? But, so this movie has flaws, but it's a good movie. There are some notable, strange cameos in it. Pat Buttram. Pat Buttram was in so many Disney films. And here he is playing Napoleon. And his assistant, Lafayette, played by Jim Nabors, who played, and I can't remember if it was Gomer or Goober Pyle from Mayberry. But it was Jim Nabors who played Lafayette. And you had the chick from the Beverly Hillbillies was the horse. And then there were several other celebrity cameos in this film, which makes it kind of charming. You know what I mean? You had the guy who voiced, what was it? I think it was Paul Winchell was his name, who voiced Winnie the Pooh and Call the Snake, also voiced Roquefort the Mouse in this movie. And Roquefort actually had a surprisingly big role in this film. So it was more than just a little cameo. And you just had so many celebrities just showing up out of nowhere. And there were others that I'm having trouble thinking of off the top of my head. There was one that was a really neat cameo, and it's just I'm spacing it out because I'm trying too hard to think about it. Because I'm in front of the camera and I can't stop to think. But be damned, at 15 minutes into this, I'm going to pause this or stop it and ruin like 15 minutes of recording to try and think of something that ultimately doesn't fucking matter. But somewhere there's another celebrity cameo that's actually really cool, and I'm sure it's going to come to me after I stop recording, and it's really, really going to piss me off. Now there it is. There it is. Now I remember what it was. Scatman Carruthers. You might remember him from a Stanley Kubrick film called The Shining, where he played Halloran the chef, who taught Danny how to, about shining on. I'll put a picture of him up here, reversing, up here in post-op. Post-production, not post-op. This isn't a fucking hospital. I'll put his picture right there. You might recognize him, you might not. That's Scatman Carruthers. And he played Scat Cat. And that's really cool. Now there is one other thing. We're back to this again. After we talked about Dumbo, and we talked about Song of the South, and we talked about Peter Pan, it's like, how much more racist could you get? And Mickey Mouse said, "Ha! Hold my beer! Ha ha!" Because here we have the Chinese, the Siamese cat with his Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Fuyang. Fortune cookie always wrong. Fuck. Are you fucking serious? Like some releases of that movie have cut that scene out entirely because that shit is fucked up. Like, it makes you kind of wonder, like, why? Like, why do you constantly feel the need, Disney? Even like after, I think this movie was made like after Disney was dead. Even after, why do you constantly feel the need to berate minorities? So let's see who you've done this. You've done the blacks, you've done the natives, then more blacks. Now you've done the Asians. Oh, and you did the Asians again. Lady and the Tramp, yeah. Like the whole thing with the Siamese cats. Like, we are Siamese, if you please. Ow. You can't tell me that wasn't just smidge racist, because it was. That was fucked up. Almost as fucked up as that, the Shanghai, Hong Kong, blah blah blah. It's like, come on, Disney. Like, you can't keep pulling this shit. And then I actually, before I go today, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about a film that's not on the list, but I want to address it since we're talking Disney Week here. Lion King. Lion King is covertly racist, like low-key, under the radar, like you actually have to be looking at it to find the racism in this film. It actually, I think it could fall under like the umbrella of like a fan or conspiracy theory because it's just so subtle. I see it. Here it is. So, Lion King, another movie about cats. Sure like to do cats. You have the Pride Lands, where the lions say that everything is in perfect balance, the circle of life. We're all together in the circle of life. We eat the antelope, but then when we die, our bodies rot and become the grass. The antelope eat the grass. We're all connected, okay? Except for the hyenas. Fuck the hyenas. Why aren't they connected in the circle of life? Sit up on top of the rock, and Simba looks over. What's that over there? About the shadowy place. Oh, you must never, ever, 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 ever go there. That's beyond our borders. Where I'm going with this. Okay, the hyenas. You notice that the hyenas are voiced by, I don't know who Ed was voiced by. I think it was just like, I don't know. I don't think it matters. But 2 out of the 3 of the hyenas, ethnic minorities. Whoopi Goldberg and Cheech Marin. These hyenas of color, we'll call them. They live in the ghetto. That's the elephant graveyard. It's the ghetto. Like, it is a rundown, like, disaster area where they are relegated, like they are not allowed to come into the nice neighborhood without somebody getting mad about it. And the first time that they do, here comes Azu. Hey, the hyenas are in the Pride Lands. Oh, let me go run them out. All right. So they come up in the nice neighborhood. People asking why. All right. And so what you have here is this allegory for, like, black people or people of color moving into white neighborhoods. So you have this white neighborhood that the lions run, that everybody's allowed into except them. And as soon as Mufasa's dead and Scar takes over, and he says, yeah, you come on in. Okay. Well, then when the hyenas show up, they turn it into just as much of a ghetto as the one they left. And so, and it doesn't go back to its old ways until after Simba comes in, kicks some ass, and sends the hyenas back to the original ghetto. And the neighborhood perks right back up again, green leaves and the animals. That's called gentrification, by the way. And so the message here is, it's, if you let people of color into a white neighborhood, the property value will drop and they'll destroy the place. They'll turn it into another ghetto. And there's even, like, the whole thing about, when the people of color move into the neighborhood, the white people move away. Because if you look at, like, the animals that existed on the Pride Lands as sort of like an allegory for like local business or whatever, like, and, as soon as things start to go bad, like places that deal more upscale tend to just shut their doors and go somewhere else. Right. So you have near the end of the movie, Sarabi telling Scar, the herds have moved on. Yeah, they packed up and left. We have only one choice. We must leave Pride Rock. In other words, this place is a ghetto. All the businesses we like done moved on. Like, we got to pack up and go, man. The property's done devalued. This place is a wreck. White people done moving out the neighborhood. All right, and so here comes Simba, kicks all the ethnic minorities out, gentrifies the neighborhood. All those nice businesses come back, and it's like, yeah, look at this. Like, once we kicked all those undesirables out and it went back to being a white neighborhood, now it's a place that we can live, right? So this is the message in The Lion King. Like, they're not making it explicit, but you look at it. It's like, don't let those people in our neighborhood, because they'll fuck it up, all right? And that's fucked up. That's fucked up. But, we were talking about the Aristocats, and I really ran out of things to say. And after I pointed out the inconsistencies and the weirdness and the celebrity cameos, so I thought, that would be a nice way to end things. So I'm going to go here, and I think I'm going to take a break for the day, and I'll probably film up the last one sometime early tomorrow. But until I see you folks again, I bid you a fond farewell, and I hope that you've had a good week so far.